My name is Mamoun Khalaf and I'm 32 years old. I'm Palestinian, but I've never been to Palestine. I was born and raised in a refugee camp in Jordan. I studied in Jordan, received a degree in English literature, and was a journalist. At a certain point, I decided to come to Italy to continue my studies and look for a job. I arrived here 3.5 years ago. I came for my studies, but also for political reasons. And here I studied political science. At first, I looked around for an Italian school for immigrants to learn the language, and I found out about Assinitas, an association that deals with immigrants. After a year in this school, I got the idea of creating serigraph. A serigraph is a simple and very manual print. It uses the intelligence of words. Well, I've always had a passion for books. My dream was that of opening a publishing company in the future. And when I was told about the idea of making handmade books, I said, absolutely yes, I agree. For a year we took a course promoted by Assinitas and the publishing company, Orecchio Acerbo. At the end of the course we did a serigraph, a small book. It was to be a project called Roots. It was taken to the Più Liberi book fair, and there it was the third most sold book. The serigraph came from this success. All of us who worked there were immigrants who come from many places in the world: Bangladesh, Afghanistan, India, Algeria, Tunisia, Palestine, and other Italian youngsters. We all work here in our serigraph. The name we chose is Else, which in English means the other, because we're always faced with the phobia of others, very widespread in the European community. But if the other scares us, why don't we try to get to know him and find out who he is? We are afraid of what we are not familiar with. I had no problem coming here because I had an official visa. But as all immigrants, I didn't know anyone, and I didn't know the language. It wasn't easy. It was difficult. I didn't know Italian. I learned it here, and this was an enormous obstacle, because you can't communicate, you can't find a job. It's very difficult to make friends. Once the visa expired, there was the problem of legal papers. The bureaucracy here is very complicated and very long. When I finished my studies, it was then that I had the problem of renewing my residence permit. I had to find a job, but serigraphy helped me in this. It gave me a real job, and I was able to renew my residence permit. And performing a work like this, an artisan work, allowed us to introduce ourselves to people in a very beautiful world. Not only with books, but also with scarves, notebooks, lamps. People are flabbergasted and don't expect immigrants to be capable of doing such lovely works. For example, the book Roots, or Erano come due notti, it was like two nights. All this makes us very proud, and we continue working with love, happiness, and passion. We're working with paper and other materials, and it's going very well. Compared to 3 years ago, today I feel like I've gone a long way. And I hope with all my friends and with all those who cooperate on the project Else to continue doing beautiful things, like these handmade books.
Sempre a fare i libri belli fatti a mano e tante altre cose.